Hello and welcome to this week's second The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And if you're tuning in to this expecting us to talk about Liverpool away to Paris Saint-Germain, we can't do that because we're recording this straight after the last one, which is Monday night. So, one of them, sorry, we're just going to go with Liverpool to at PSG and Liverpool are through. Well done us.
Yeah, well in Reds.
So, yeah, we can crack on now and we'll just go to the derby. No, in all seriousness, we'll talk about PSG after when we've done our derby analysis, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do a roundup of a week.
Yeah, basically, I think that's the best way to do it. So yeah, what we're going to talk about here is we're going to move on to the Merseyside derby, which is coming up on this Sunday. Can't fucking wait. And then we're just going to look back at this weekend that's just gone, what some of the results mean for certain title challenges. Specifically, I guess we're looking at Chelsea and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Because we talked about City at the last episode. And then I want to also talk briefly about Richard Scudamore, which we haven't got round to yet.
Yeah, we didn't mention it in our corruption in football last week, which would have been perfect, but
it really would have been. But it's one of them. We just filled it. We had so much to talk about because we've been missing for that long that we filled the airtime. So.
And now we have so much content. We're releasing 2 episodes a week.
I know, it's incredible. Look at us go. No, but in all seriousness, I think the Liverpool fans, protesters, give us a little bit of a little bit more credence to record this week. So
yeah,
if we go with that, so let's just start at the derby. Obviously, we can't talk about Liverpool going in with any kind of form from the PSG game, but what we can talk about is Merseyside derby.
It is, well,
form goes out the window in these games.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, cliche.
Right, if form does go out the window in derbies, Everton would have won one recently. In the last 10 years.
No, because Everton have come into derbies in the past in good form and fucked them up because they are not very good in derbies.
But,
this derby...
Maybe not form. Maybe not form's the right word, Ben, but form/quality. People expect quality to go out the window in derbies.
Yeah, I think that's the main...
It doesn't, because Everton haven't won in fucking...
That's the main
22
confusion.
Years, 19 years?
At Anfield, they haven't won since 1999, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, so 19 years now.
God, people born...
Trent Alexander-Arnold was only just born when...
People born after Everton last won at Anfield can now drink.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, I don't like that.
Which is good for them because it helps
I suppose, yeah.
No, it's one of those where you are right there. People do say form goes out the window, but quality never does.
No, quality shines through.
There's occasions where spirit and all that can come good. Look at the FA Cup. You wouldn't really see any upsets in that ever, would you?
True. Yeah.
But the one thing is Everton just have this tendency to bottle Anfield. This season has a little bit of a different feel in it because this is the first time in a while that they've been playing very good football. Well,
you say a while, but Martinez got on playing really good football.
True.
And they still got battered.
True.
Every time.
True. Not every time. There were a couple of draws in there somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose, but
which they celebrated like wins.
Of course, they got a DVD.
No, it's it is one of those where you can't really say form goes out the window. The bookies aren't saying it. Liverpool quite clear favourites. Everton are 9 to win the derby for context, which is madness really. Looking at the form from the last couple of derbies at Anfield, Liverpool have, as we've not said, have not lost since 1999 at the Merseyside derby. We've won
since 1999.
Since Jurgen Klopp's never lost a derby.
Yep.
Which is an important stat, whether you think so or not. Everton last won a derby itself in 2010.
We don't talk about that one.
2010 one, yes, Hodgson.
Yeah, it was.
So Liverpool haven't lost a derby against Everton since Roy Hodgson was in charge of Liverpool Football Club, and that was the darkest time of my life.
Dark days.
So, we're going back 8 years there. That's a long time to not beat a certain football team, particularly when you're supposed to be on a level with them according to their fans. they still refer to us as the shite, even though we're better than them by a long distance. The last Merseyside derby though was properly uneventful.
It was a big Sam masterclass, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, me and you called it the forgotten derby, didn't we? When we talked about the Goodison one.
Yeah. That one. Sorry, it was Big Sam, and we had attention elsewhere. We didn't really.
Yeah, exactly. We went elsewhere with Danny Ings started. It was just one of those games where it could have been. If either team had won, you'd have been like, yeah, all right, fair enough. But Everton were never winning a derby, were they? So the last game at Anfield.
That was the Big Sam masterclass.
Well, no, that's the last league game at Anfield.
Oh, yeah.
The last game at Anfield. Was
Big Verge's debut.
Big Verge's only goal for Liverpool, and if it remains his only goal for Liverpool, it will not bother me a fucking job because it was one of my favourite things. You see this video going around recently of Everton fans just being like, "Oh, take me back to this moment," and it's them scoring the equaliser in that game,
which they then lost.
Yeah, and it's like. We've got so many memories down the years of like, Mane 94th minute and stuff like that, where you're just like, yeah, take me back to that. That was fucking incredible. And then their take me back moment is take me back to when we were losing at Anfield and we got a goal, and then we lost anyway. It's
one of my favourites is never forget this moment, and it was Seamus Coleman's equaliser. Like, it was a good goal, but it was only an equaliser.
Yeah.
And we were like, never forget this moment.
Seamus Coleman or Jagielkas?
Jagielkas,
yeah. Fucking ball. To be honest, I was sat behind that, and I still...
I was with you. It was horrible.
Were you sat... you weren't you? Sorry, yeah. I mean, it was one of those where if it had been anybody else, I'd have just been like, fucking hell, and just applauded it. But it's... I still remember saying at the time, there's just nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing you can do about it. But now... I mean, Liverpool aren't going to give away a stupid chance like that at the edge of the box.
This is true.
In this game, there's no thunder bastard from fucking Yerry Mina coming in this game. If there is now, I'm going to be fucking devastated. But yeah, I just think Liverpool have just got so much more about them this year than Everton fans give them credit for this year. And whilst I expect it to be a more difficult game than a lot of people might be anticipating, Liverpool are head and shoulders above this Everton team.
Yeah, definitely.
And even if that's not me having like a proper jibe at Everton and saying that they're crap, because they've got good footballers there. I think Bernard in particular is a fantastic footballer. I think he's got a massive future in English football as well. If he can get his final product sorted, he'll be perfect for this league.
Yeah,
it's just tricky enough to be annoying. Richarlison seems to be going quite well as well. And then they've got the old staples around. You always know what you're getting with Gylfi Sigurdsson. They're expecting great things from Yerry Mina. Theo Walcott's still crap.
Cenk Toson's still crap.
Apparently Lucas Digne's been alright for them. Wouldn't know. To be honest, they've always had good left backs. Like Leighton Baines has been going there for as long as you can remember. It's one of them. I don't think much of their goalkeeper. Regardless of what the world tells you, I don't think much of him at all. I think he's a short ass, and I think he's
got very small arms.
I don't think he arranges his box well either. I don't think.
No. Thing I always notice with him is he doesn't parry the ball out of play enough.
Yeah.
He parries it in front of him a lot.
Yeah, and maybe that's down to how short his arms are.
Perhaps.
He's just reaching in vain, and he can't quite get what he wants on. He's a very small man.
It is going to be a more difficult derby than we've had in recent years.
It is. They have got good players this year.
I feel like they're kind of going to play into our hands, because I don't feel like Silva's the type of manager that's going to want to sit back.
Well, the thing is that Everton have this stat at the moment where they have the most. I think it's the most ball wins back in the opposition's first third, so in Everton's final third.
Yeah, so they're going to try and press up high, and that is going to be very dangerous.
You can't press up high against Liverpool because our keeper doesn't care. Our keeper will just. I mean, this will be a game where if you are Alisson, you have to get rid of it quickly because Everton will be on them.
Yeah.
Van Dijk's not arsed. Joe Gomez isn't arsed. Dejan Lovren's still a very good footballer playing with the ball. Like defensively, he has his issues. Yeah, fine. But when his passing range is actually really unappreciated.
Yeah.
So no matter who you're getting at the back, we are going to have people there who can deal with this pressure. you've got Fabinho now playing in midfield, who, if he's ever been bothered by anything, he's never let it show. Do you know what I mean? He's so calm, he's so collected when he's on the ball, and Liverpool have players who can cope with that, the high press that Everton are going to put on us.
Yeah.
And we've got quality in behind as well if they press us too high. I mean, would you want Mane and Salah fighting against you? And not to mention, that's not even mentioning the fullbacks, Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yep. I mean, if those two fancy a game here, if those two fancy it, they could have 3 assists each. It's just one of those games where if Liverpool are on fire, Liverpool will do some serious damage to Everton. But Everton have the firepower in them these days to do something back. And, they weren't, I mean, we spoke about it last week when we talked about Chelsea-Everton. Wasn't exactly a classic by any means, but they did well to get a draw there. Now, whether or not we see now that that's Chelsea unravelling, which it looks like after the Tottenham game, or whether it was Everton playing well, I guess we'll see in this game.
See, I said last week, I'm kind of the opinion that it wasn't particularly good from Everton. It was just not particularly good from Chelsea as well. Like, neither team could defend, but neither team could score.
Apparently they weren't great against Cardiff on the weekend either. They needed a fortuitous goal, should we say, or the match of the day overplayed that. It was basically Cardiff. If you haven't seen it, Cardiff should have had a throw in on the touchline. The ref gave it to Everton instead. Everton go up the other end and score. Neil Warnock was fuming, as you would be. One of them things that happens in footy. There's still a minute between the throw in and the goal, so there's plenty of opportunity to win the ball back. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. I've been impressed in fits and starts with Everton, but I always am. That's the thing. Like, as bitter rivalries go, I can't stand the fan base, but as a club, I'm just like, Everton are a pretty sound football club, to be honest with you. When you look at the work they do in the community and stuff like that, people are tuning in expecting me to trash Everton, and I'm just sitting there going, you know what? They're actually sound. They're proper. Their fans are cunts, and I hate them all. But them all. But it's one of those where they would take Nottingham. Like, if they got a win here, we wouldn't be allowed to forget it for the next however many millennia. It would be, because it'd be our first defeat of the season, and it'd be the reason Liverpool don't win the league this season, or whatever happens. But I don't know. There's enough about them for Liverpool to have to take this completely seriously. Like, this isn't a game against your Leicesters or your West Hams. Do you know what I mean? This is a game.
We've got to.
You go into this how you go into, I would say, probably Spurs at this point, maybe Arsenal, and you just treat this the same way. Maybe not Spurs. That's a disservice to Spurs. Spurs are a lot better than Everton, but you treat them like you would Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely.
And you go into this flying. They're all fuming because the VT that was played for, I can't remember who it was. It might have been BT Sports actually. Had it as the race for the top 5. And missed out 6th.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Because
they're now 6th. So they're obviously all in an absolute fume, because it's like, you're only missing out because it's us, kind of thing. No, it's just because you're fucking shit. But predictions? Don't say 7-0. You've already had one 7-0 this episode. You can't say another 7-0. No!
8-0.
Good.
Now, so I do think it's going to be a more difficult game than usual, but with them playing a more attacking brand of football now, it is kind of perfectly suited to us, and I am of the opinion that they cannot defend. They can't. But Yerry Mina, who they are raving about, is crap.
I think he's going to be in for a shock when he comes up against Bobby, if he plays against
Bobby, Salah, Mane, Shaqiri, any of them. Yeah. I think we're going to score a few. I'm
going.
My serious prediction, I think it might be 3-0. I don't think they're scoring. I don't think their quality shines through enough throughout the team. So, like, Sigurdsson's good, Richarlison's good, Bernard's good. The other wing, though, Walcott, no.
Seamus Coleman's not the same player as he was, and he will get a run around from Mane.
The quality is not spread evenly in that team. So if we focus on, like, defending well on the right, Trent just having Bernard in his pocket.
Yeah.
If he had Tosun up front or Richarlison up front, either one the centre backs can deal with. We can leave Robbo to get up the left because Walcott isn't really that much of a threat, and we're kind of a worse team for this Everton team to play, I think, because we are so defensively sound, and our midfield are so industrious and hardworking to be able to cover for the fullbacks when they go flying up. They can easily cover for them, marking Bernard and
definitely
and Walcott, and then once you get past Sigurdsson in the midfield, they haven't really got anything that I think
creativity-wise.
Not creativity, and nothing to really worry us like controlling the game wise either.
The other thing I would say about Everton is there's not an off the bench. Like there's no sub. You turn around and you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, they've just brought on Oumar Niasse. You know what I mean? Or they just brought on Chen Tosun. I'm not asked about any of them, to be honest. It's if Everton start on fire and they catch Liverpool off guard, then they might get a goal or two. But
I can't see this Liverpool team taking them for granted, though.
No, I can't either.
It's a really, really big week for us. We just come off a big win against Watford. We've hopefully come off a big win against PSG. Regardless of the result midweek against PSG, like this game of the weekend is still massive because we need to keep pace with Man City.
No, definitely.
It doesn't matter who we're playing, like Cardiff at home or fucking United away. We need to take each game as seriously as the next.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right there. Particularly when you look at Man City playing Bournemouth this week. Which is, I think, the 8th time that they've played Bournemouth this year.
They've definitely played Burnley at least 3.
Do you know what's going to be really impressive? The second half of the season, Man City are still going to play 19 home games. Because they've managed to play 19 home games, how many games have they played? 13. So
they've still managed to play 19 home games.
Yeah, basically, it feels like they're at home every week. And, I mean, just looking through the fixtures now, I mean, they are, like, there are so many home games in there, and the second half of the season, they're just going to be at home every week. You just know it. It's just that's what it feels like anyway. It's really hard to fucking not be annoyed, but my prediction for this game is 2-0 for the derby. I think Liverpool. It's very similar to the Fulham game in many respects, where Liverpool could just go 2-0 up and just be like, all right, okay, well, that's it. We'll have it. We'll have that.
Do you think we'll do anything wild formation wise or
no? It's normal
player wise.
Normal game. Jürgen's not the type to change anything for this. I would not be surprised at all for James Milner to be starting.
In lieu of Henderson being out.
I want Fabinho to be starting in lieu of Henderson, actually. So I would assume the midfield 3 will be Fabinho, Milner and Shaqiri.
That sounds good.
And then the front 3 is the front 3. But we keep saying the front 3. I mean, the way Firmino lined up, if he lines up similar against PSG, we could end up just saying, okay, so Firmino's midfield at this point.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a 4-2-3-1, isn't it?
Yeah,
on the right.
I expect to see Fabinho and Milner just because the pair of them are snides. They're our most snidey midfielders.
Yeah, and Milner knows how to foul and get away with it.
With Idrissa Gueye in there and with Andre Gomez, who's Everton fans are pretty pleased with at this point, but they were pleased with Morgan Schneiderlin as well at one point. One of them. I would expect those two to be Everton centre midfield pairing with Sigurdsson slightly ahead of them. So I guess we'll see. I'd want Fabinho in there just to break up any play Everton have got, and again to milk that pressure. But yeah, I think 2-0 for Liverpool. So what we'll do now then is we'll go right back to this weekend just gone.
Yep.
I only want to talk about one game in particular, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the only game of any real import.
All right, I said West Ham might do us a favour against City. They played well. They didn't do us a favour against City. One of those things. But there's a massive point proven by Tottenham, and a massive blow to Chelsea as well. Yeah. In the 5:30 kick-off on Saturday. And, Tottenham win 3-1. Tottenham could quite easily have won the game 6-7-0 if they'd have been up for it. Chelsea could quite easily have got back into the game. Second half in particular, Chelsea was a lot better. When Ross Barkley came on, they looked like a completely different team. Which I got into on the last episode.
See, I'm being good now. I'm not shaking my head in disgust.
No, that's fine.
Saying Ross Barkley's good.
That's fine. I just think quality, as we were saying, I think quality footballers just they get better when they're playing with quality.
Yeah, of course.
And that's key with what's happening with Barkley. But yeah, I think Tottenham start really quickly. But what we're seeing here is we're seeing Chelsea unravel. And it really will piss you off now more than ever that we are the team who played Chelsea when we did, and City are going to play Chelsea when they play Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
I hadn't even thought of that. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Chelsea's the game.
Isn't it?
Chelsea's the game that we're looking at, and we're like, City have got to.
City could drop points.
That's where City will drop points. Yeah. If it's anywhere, it'll be Chelsea. And now we're seeing Chelsea shake. Like they look a completely different side.
Well, last 2 games the defence has been just atrocious, really.
Yeah.
I was really, really disappointed with Chelsea's defence against Everton. I was disappointed with the defending in general, to be honest. David Luiz was just horrendous.
Newcastle have just gone 1-0 up against Burnley. Sorry.
Oh, Sam, good for them.
Yeah, good for Rafa. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, the defence has been woeful.
Yeah, midfield just got completely overran by Spurs. We should touch on that a bit more, though, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that a lot of people are talking about Sarri's midfield. It seems to be coming undone now, and I think what we're seeing is Jorginho just seems to have fell out of a form a little bit, and now there's cries for, well, you've got possibly the best holding midfielder in the world in N'Golo Kante there.
And you're playing him as an 8.
Yeah, why don't you move the team? Why is it so important for you that Jorginho's playing? And what Tottenham did that was like expert, really, and really good from Pochettino. Proves how good a manager he is they basically just went, right, okay, what we're going to do then is we're just going to mark Jorginho at this game.
Yeah.
Jorginho's not going to play any passes this game. And
it was Ali on him once.
Yeah, and Dele Alli, defensive discipline on all game, which something I wouldn't really put with Dele Alli at all. But
maybe that's a sign there's a bit of maturity coming to his game now.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, there's a point where Son could have had 5 or 6 goals in this game because Chelsea were nullified completely, and Spurs just played them on the counter attack. Chelsea were reliant on David Luiz having a good game, who just went back to the David Luiz who Chelsea originally got rid of. It was the David Luiz of the 7-0 loss against Germany.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For Brazil. It was that kind of performance.
And also relying on Morata to be halfway decent up front.
Yeah, which he wasn't. He's been offside more times than Bournemouth this season, which is...
It's a great stat.
It is. That might be my favourite stat of this season so far. And while we're on Morata, I put up a tweet this week about... I retweeted that stat and I said, it's mad how little abuse Chelsea are getting for the signing of Morata.
Yes, no, I did see that one. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because they spent a lot of money on him and he's been an absolute flop.
You think of the stick Lukaku's getting at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not playing to his strengths at all, Mourinho. Well, I suppose he is, but... you've got players who Lukaku doesn't fit in there. It's as simple as that. You've got tricky wingers on the sides who are looking to cut inside, and that's why he's not working. Morata, he's the same player as Olivier Giroud, basically, and you see Giroud come in, and there's no contest who's a better fit for Chelsea, and it's madness, really. Hazard's openly come out and said that he prefers playing with Giroud. He links up better with Giroud. Riley, you're a dickhead.
It's interesting as well, like that Sarri's not experimented a little bit more, because I know Napoli last season he brought Martins from the wing and played him more as like a striker, didn't he? It's interesting that he hasn't done that with Hazard. Maybe played him as a false nine, but he's actually come out and said that he's not doing that. That's not part of his plans.
Yeah,
and he's going to persevere with Morata and Giroud. Jamie, can you sort him out, please?
No, sorry, the dog's playing with his new favourite bone. Yeah, I understand what you mean. It comes across as a bit maybe it's similar to what Conte had last year, where Conte was just like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you know what I mean? Like when people were falling out with him left, right and centre, and he's just like, nah. But he needs investment. He said at the start of the season he needed time to get that team right. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they went and bought Dres Mertens this summer.
Yeah.
Or even they won't be in January. I guess it depends on what Napoli do in the Champions League.
This is true.
Because you're not staying around for Champions League football, are you? If you can get your move to Chelsea, and Dres Mertens, I think, is 29 at this point, so you'll want to move soon. Yeah, and Chelsea have a history of signing older strikers. Why not? But yeah, maybe he fits in better with Hazard, international teammates. But it is really strange how Sarri just seems to be set in his ways.
Yeah.
No, he's getting good things out of Ross Barkley, as I've said.
And let's not forget, this is still a really, really good start by Chelsea.
Exactly.
It's just compared to our start and City's start, it's a blow. It's a blow to their title ambitions.
The other thing is you can see how quickly the media report that the wheels have come off.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And how
the wheels are by no means off. They've lost 1 in 13.
No, and that's exactly my point. Is that this is by no means. I mean, most seasons Liverpool are top. Most seasons Chelsea are as well. But the standard being set at the moment by City and by Liverpool, to be fair, means that we can turn around and we can forget about Tottenham in the title race quite easily when they're on 30 points. And we shouldn't be doing that, but it's something that we are doing. And then you can. All of a sudden, me and you can sit here and we can say the wheels are coming off on Chelsea now. They might get swatted by Man City in a couple of weeks now. It's not necessarily true, but it's a concern for Chelsea fans, and the media are making it a concern for Chelsea fans, I guess. And I suppose it's the level that the Premier League's at this point in time. Do you know what I mean? It's the level where you can't afford to be left behind, and it just goes to show how disciplined Liverpool have to be.
Yeah,
this season as well, because Chelsea are being left behind, and they've had two bad results, and all of a sudden we're sat here and Liverpool 5 points clear of them. Madness.
It is absolutely ridiculous. It just goes to show there's such little margin for error this season. You've got to be on the ball at all times.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where maybe some teams are going to have to start thinking about binning off other competitions because there's such little room. There's such little wiggle room in it.
I hope it's not us, because
I really hope it's not us.
The only way I want second this season is if it's with an FA Cup or a Champions League.
Yeah.
And I can handle that. I can't handle finishing second on a record points total for second place and having no fucking trophy at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because that it stinks.
But it does feel like something's got to give with some team at some point.
You can say that about Spurs? That's all.
It is interesting to see they've lost 3 games and they're only 3 points behind us, which is quite mad, really. They've won all the rest. Have they drawn a single game? No. So that's quite interesting. They're another one of those that they've not set the world alight. They've not battered anyone, much like us.
Kane's been out of form.
Kane's been out, but they're still racking up these points. They're still getting these wins. I think it's more the fact that the rest of the league is truly terrible.
There's such a gulf, isn't there?
There is an enormous gulf. So if Huddersfield won at the weekend, they're now 14th, I think.
15th.
They're now 15th, and they were bottom, I believe, or second to bottom. It's absolutely ridiculous. There is such little between. There's such little.
Sorry, they are 14th, but it's because Newcastle are currently winning. Oh no, the table says 15th.
I mean, there's such little quality difference between all those teams at the bottom there that it's almost a given that the top 6 are going to win those games. Well, not top 6. Top 6 including Everton. Let's jib off United because they're truly a mid-table team now.
Only team in the top half with a minus goal difference.
Exactly, yeah. Truly mid-table. But the top 6 are going to beat those other teams. So the only way that you're going to pick up points against the other ones is in games between the top 6.
Yeah.
And that's where Spurs have fallen down. They got beat by us, they got beat by City. They have now beat Chelsea, which is good, but they've got coming up Arsenal at the weekend.
Yeah. And
that's going to be interesting to see what happens.
This is going back to what Guardiola said recently as well, isn't it? About how... Well, it wasn't... I don't even think it was Guardiola. I think someone just said it about Guardiola, and it's basically he's just decided that City will be the best at beating everybody else, but they're more comfortable of just taking points off of their rivals.
Yeah.
And if as long as they can do that, they'll win the title again this season, and
Yeah.
that's the mindset that they're going in with. Although, Guardiola's obviously concerned about us. You know what I mean? The coach
Can't read.
Can't read. I used to love reading. I love reading, but I can't read because every time I read, I think Klopp, Liverpool, and fantastic, living in his head rent free.
To be fair, it's been a while since I've read. I could blame that.
A lad I went to school with, give him a book on Wednesday at the University of Liverpool, because Guardiola did a talk there. He'd give him a book because he went around Europe studying at different grounds, including Bayern Munich, whilst Guardiola was there.
Okay.
So we give him a copy of this book, and then the day after, Guardiola comes out with these quotes.
Well, no,
I don't read.
that quote was actually at that talk.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's just like, I don't read anymore because Liverpool
Can't.
Claw. Fantastic. I love it. I make no apologies for it. I love Pep Guardiola anyway. I think, I'd love to see him do it with no money, but I think he's a top fella.
Yeah.
You've got to look at how outspoken he is about like what's going on in Catalan and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I'm good to that. Didn't go to that talk, to be honest.
Yeah,
but, by the time we knew about it, tickets were already sold out.
Too right. Wasn't particularly well advertised, was it? But
No.
I think there's a reason for that. But there you go.
Yeah, because it's probably going to get stormed.
Yeah. So let's just read out the Premier League table then, but as we go into this weekend. So this, this isn't live. Well, this is a live one as Newcastle are 1-0 up in the 14th minute against Burnley. Have they got the pride flag above the scoreboard?
Yes.
Oh, right. Fair play. So as this is that game's still going on, I won't even go down to the bottom of the table, so we'll just do the top 7, shall we? To include United. City top on 35 points. Everyone's played 13 games. City top 35 points. Liverpool second 33. Spurs 30. Chelsea 28. Arsenal point behind on 27. Then 5 points below Everton 22, and a point below them United on 21 points. Now, whilst I've whittled off 7 names in the Premier League, all 20 of them have all been a bit bastardy recently, and decided to give £250,000 each to Richard Scudamore, who has been the Premier League chief executive since I can remember, really, to be honest. That is not by any stretch of the imagination a credit to him by me, because I can't fucking stand him. This is the fella who said that every team should play a 39th game at the end of the season abroad because he doesn't understand football. He got the job based on the fact that he's a rich fella who is good at making businesses more money. And you know what? You can't really fault him from that aspect of what
he's definitely turned the Premier League, and because English football's reputation before the Premier League was in the dirt, really, wasn't it?
Well, yeah,
he's turned it into a money-making machine now. Like, it's the best league in the world. It's advertised as such worldwide.
There's so much money just from getting in it.
Yeah, exactly. He's done a great job there. But the fact that all the Premier League clubs have agreed to give him some money, even though he earned an absolute fortune. Yeah. He doesn't need this money. Why is this money being given to him? It should be given to just grassroots or something.
The thing is,
if Scuda-More had anything about him, he'd say give it to charity. But he fucking doesn't, so he's taking it. If
he understood football and he understood the plight of the fans that he was trying to appeal to about away ticket prices and stuff like that, if he understood football, he would say use it to subsidise ticket prices for a game. Let kids in for £5, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just do something different. Just make football, bring out what's special in football. Yeah. But instead, it's going into his pocket, and he's there's no noise that he's going to reject it. Liverpool fans made their feelings quite clear with the banners against Watford, which fantastic. Yep. Again, spine cop sort of that, I think. It seems to always be us leading the front line on. Well, I say us. I'm not taking any credit for it at all. Spirit of Shankly and Spine Cop normally are the ones who are really good for sorting these kind of protests out. Yep. It's just a shame that it seems to be Liverpool that it's fell on again.
You know why this is, why this £5 million is being given to Scuda-More. it's the Premier League clubs going to the next chief executive of the Premier League or whatever, going, hey, you look after us and we'll look after you. That's what they're doing, and it makes me fucking sick.
Mate, that's a good point. To be fair, I mean the woman who's coming in, I'm surprised more's not been made there. To be honest, she's got no interest in football apparently at all. She's got no history in football.
Does anyone in the FA or in the Premier League have any interest in football? No. They have interest in making money.
That's it. And it is interesting that they've chosen that. Like, if you were choosing a figurehead, you'd choose a former Premier League footballer or something, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd offer Alan Shearer a role or some... do you know what I mean? No, you'd offer someone who's a high-profile figure in Premier League history a role. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Alex, obviously, he's in poor health and, well, he's recovering now. But, do you know what I mean? Like, you could offer that role as a symbol instead of any power. I don't know what Scuda-More actually did. I just know he oversaw a lot of stuff happening, like in terms of TV deals and stuff. But there are so many people in the world of football who understand football and understand what fans want, and yet the Premier League just turns around and slaps everyone in the face again by appointing somebody who is just there to make money, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
What can you do about it, though?
No, that's it. Well, there's too much money in football. There's too much money in football for the Premier League to risk being left behind.
Yeah. And like, we can protest it all we want, but they will not change that.
No,
because there's just too much money.
No, and it's too lucrative. And I mean, it's frustrating. And Liverpool and Everton really had a chance to step up and be the first clubs to just be outspoken on it. We still don't know what list of clubs it was, like if any, opposed it. The £5 million this is for Scuda-More. His wages were £4 million a year.
Yeah,
and he got $5 million golden goodbye. But I can't. I've never been able to stand the man. Every time I see him, I just go back to being reminded of how we didn't have goal line technology for years because people like him were outspoken against like on that subject and I just can't be asked. I hate money men. I hate money men in football because they just don't understand football. I think now to some of the great managers over the time, and in particular Bill Shankly, and the way football is now and how he would see football these days, you know what I mean? And you just think he's just fucking spinning in his grave, do you know what I mean? He's spinning quick enough to fucking power Anfield at a match day. It's madness. But yeah, too much money in football. Yeah. But as you say, what can you do about it? It's a lucrative business, and that's all they're there for, really.
Well, keep talking about it.
Yeah, well, that's it. If
make your voice heard.
Yeah.
Nothing in particular might get done about it, but at least they know you're not happy with it.
Yeah, that's it. And you can't.
So it might stop it from happening again. Maybe.
You can't keep ignoring fans, no matter how hard you try. You can't keep it because we won't let you, and that's it. Yeah. So that's been part 2 of this week.
Yep.
Happy. The one thing Jamie wants me to mention, because she's turned around to look at me now. One thing Jamie wants me to mention is Fantasy Premier League this year.
We want you to be a bet.
You're going to be in charge of adjudicating this bet. So,
okay.
As it stands right now, with this game in play, okay, I'm just going to log on to my fantasy football team, and I will admit I've not really been taking it too seriously this year. I've been a bit lax, to say the least. But as we sit here right now,
on the story of Poor Boy League,
Jamie is on 771 points, and I am on 675. So I am 96 points behind her.
Okay.
I have bet her that I will finish above her.
Okay.
At this point, and the bet is that whoever loses, so whoever
finishes below the other,
will have to pay for a meal for the two of us.
Ah, 2 of us? Me? I'm coming.
Well, we'll see.
As adjudicator, I need to come and judge the meal as well.
We'll see, because whatever the points difference is the amount that has to be spent on the meal.
Ooh, I like it. So, meal altogether?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I finish a five points above Jamie, then she's getting a Big Mac meal, or well, a Happy Meal.
Sayers.
Exactly. She's getting her.
Tesco meal.
If I come back, if she thrashes me the rest of this season, if she thrashes me the rest of the season and I finish 250 points behind her, then I'm going to find 250 quid at the end of the season.
Nice, I like it. Cool.
So
this bet has been officially adjudicated. It's not good radio, but I'm like raising and lowering my hand in like a judging motion
as we shake hands on it.
It's official. Okay. You've heard it here.
Yeah, there you go. It's done. So, fucking hell, Newcastle 2-0.
Oh my god, they've done 2 whole footballs.
They've done well.
This could be 3 in a row now.
Do you remember when we were talking about football and we were like, Newcastle have had a shite run, but they're going to start playing easy games at some point and they're going to start picking up points, and now they're picking up points, and it's as if we know what we're talking about.
I won't go that far.
No, I wouldn't go that far either. Thank you so much if you've listened to this one. Thank you if you sat through both of them. Thank you if you sat through any of the other. I think this is the 36th now. Fucking hell.
Doing alright, son.
Yeah, not too bad. I wish we had more listeners, but that's fine. We'll get there. So if you could follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, follow us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, WordPress is another one. Just share us. That'd be great if you could. Just listen and just share us, and we love you all very much. Thank you very much for listening again.
Right, cheers, guys.